up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm be reviewing Thor: Love and Thunder. This one came out today and was directed by Taika Waititi and stars Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman. Now, before we start, hit the like button, subscribe to the post notification bell so you know for a video. Let's just start. Let's start talking about the good. So all the actors and actresses, so I thought they're all fantastic. You have Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman. You of course have the villain Gore the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale. I think everyone in this film was fantastic. I did not have a problem with any of the acting in this film. The opening sequence is awesome. It is a great opening sequence. You have Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy versus these owl-like creatures. They're fighting them on this planet. I thought it was awesome. It's fighting, laser guns. It's awesome. Great opening sequence. The cinematography, which includes shots of cameras, the lighting, I thought it was great. I thought Taika Waititi did a great job with the shots and the camera angles, especially when he gets to Gore the God Butcher. He is very, very creepy, which I'll get to his character later. But the cinematography and the darkness surrounding Gore the God Butcher, and there's one sequence in particular, which I'll get to later, but the cinematography overall, fantastic. The first act of the film, I thought it was good. It set up the characters well. It set up the returning characters well because, of course, we haven't seen them in a little bit. And I thought that every returning character was fun, and I thought every new character was even more fun or just as fun as the original characters that are coming back for this film. I did not have a problem with any of the characters. The way they're set up was very, very well done. Gore the God Butcher. Now, Christian Bale is phenomenal in this film. As Gore the God Butcher, he's fantastic. He has a very, very good motivation. I thought that Taika Waititi did a good job with his motivation because the whole thing is that the gods didn't help his daughter, so of course he goes on a quest to kill the gods, and he thinks the gods are hypocritical and all of that, which there's a scene that explains that, which is a great sequence. But I really thought that that sequence was very, very well done. And I actually cared about the villain. Gore the God Butcher is a character that I cared about from beginning to end. I really, really enjoyed Christian Bale's performance as Gore the God Butcher. He was creepy. He was very, very scary at times. But you could feel the emotional weight that the character has. The second to the film, I thought it was good. It continues the story well enough. We do go on this adventure, which it does get sidetracked sometimes. But other than that, I thought the second act of the film was good. The action sequences. Now, there are some awesome action sequences in this film. There's one sequence in particular, which you've seen in the trailer. It is one of the best sequences, possibly the best sequence in this entire film, the black and white fight sequence with Thor, Jane, and Valkyrie versus Gore. It is a phenomenal sequence. The cinematography in that sequence is fantastic. I really enjoyed the choreography, the action, very, very well done. There's also a great sequence where Thor's with Zeus. Thor ends up killing Zeus in this film with his own lightning bolt. So Zeus, of course, lightning, whatever. Thor ends up grabbing Zeus's lightning bolt and stabs him, and it is brutal, which some sequences in this film do get brutal, which I was very surprised about because although the villain is Gore the God Butcher, that sequence, Gore did not kill Zeus. Thor was the one who killed Zeus, so that was really unexpected, and I thought it worked very well because, like I said, sometimes the tone worked in this film. There are also many hilarious sequences, especially with Hela, played by Melissa McCarthy, the actor. Of course, she's an actress, but Hela, the actress from Thor Ragnarok, I thought it was fantastic. She was very, very funny. I thought she worked as a character in this film. I guess she wasn't really a character. She was just a character for comedic effect, but she was fantastic. There are some emotional sequences, especially Jane's death. Jane dies because of cancer in the third act of the film, and I thought it was very emotional because I actually cared about Jane Foster in this film, which I really, really loved how Jane Foster was a bigger character, and she had more to do in this film than she did in Thor and Thor the Dark World. She had 10 times more to do, and I thought her character as Lady Thor, I thought she was great. I thought that Lady Thor was a great addition to this film. Now, did it need Lady Thor? I don't think it did. But what they did with Lady Thor was fantastic. I really loved what they did. The relationship between Thor and Lady Thor, played by Natalie Portman, fantastic. The score. Now, Michael Giacchino is a fantastic composer. He composed a score for this film, and it's awesome. Very, very well done score. Thor, Thor's theme, Thor Ragnarok, the theme from Thor Ragnarok is somewhere in this film. Um, it's not played a lot, which I enjoyed. It's played during some sequences, which those sequences were fantastic. The third act of the film. Now, the third act of the film is again awesome. You have Gore the God Butcher versus Thor, Jane or Lady Thor, and Valkyrie. Like I said earlier, that entire sequence was phenomenal. It does make you, it does raise the stakes for the third act of the film because Valkyrie gets stabbed. She doesn't die, but she gets stabbed. It seems like she's about to die, but of course she doesn't. Um, Lady Thor, Natalie Portman, things happen to her because she has cancer, and things happen to her in the third act where you're worrying about her health and what's going to happen to her. So I thought the stakes in the third act were fantastic. The ending sequence I thought was a great ending sequence. You have Thor and Gore's daughter, fantastic. I really, really enjoyed that sequence, and I thought it works for the film because of Gore's redemption. Um, I would say it was sort of a redemption. By the end of the film, he does redeem himself, which I thought was fantastic. And the post-credit sequence, I thought it was good. It's nothing huge, but I thought it was good. The first one is Zeus is still alive, so Zeus is, of course, still alive from that stab. And Hercules is shown, and I thought it works because, of course, it's a film all about gods and all that, so I thought it worked. The second post-credit sequence is Jane with Heimdall in Valhalla, or the Land of the Gods. Great sequence. I really enjoy that sequence. Heimdall returns, and it was fantastic. That's all that I have for the good. Now to move on to the bad. So the tones for this film are comedy and horror. There are comedy and horror tones in this film, and sometimes they do not always blend well. There are some sequences in this film where I felt that if they would have toned down some of the comedy, that the horror elements would have really worked. They still worked enough for me. I really enjoyed every sequence with Gore the God Butcher, and the horror elements were showcased well enough. But if they would have toned down the comedy just a bit, this is a very, very funny film, but it's at the expense of the villain. And if they would have toned down the comedy, I think it would have been a very, very good film. And the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, it's not. I guess it's a big problem for me, but it's not something that really takes away from the film because you can't really blame the director for this since it wasn't even in his film. But the Guardians of the Galaxy are in this film, like I stated, but they're only in it for one scene. They're one complete scene, and that's it. And I was expecting them to be in a lot of the film because they were shown in every single trailer. And I was expecting them to probably fight with Thor, with third act, whatever, but they don't. They're not in the rest of the film, and that was kind of disappointing. That's about it. Thor: Love and Thunder is a good MCU film. I recommend this film if you really liked Thor Ragnarok. So I'm going to give Thor: Love and Thunder a B. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like button, subscribe, post notifications, post every video. I'm Peter. Thank you for watching.